It is.
It is what it is. So. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Yay, it's live stream time. Oh, I see some of you guys there already. So we have this existing library. I just wanted to start here because I'm so excited and it's so fun to play with this library with all these cool grooves and patches. This is Moonflower Tapes. I'm John Limcool. Welcome. Glad to see you all are here. My God, there's 166 patches here. Let's do this. Let's make a groove kind of fun bonus patch. We did this last week and it came out really cool. So let's start with that. Let's go UNIFY layer. Actually, just UNIFY instrument 1 only. So we're going to build something. Actually, no, I want to say UNIFY layer because I don't know what I'm going to be choosing. And I might need more than one layer, right? So let's go up here to... Let's get the levels right. Got to keep the birds up. That's a cool vibe. Let's see if we add one more if we get in trouble. I kind of want to play the art. So if I transpose it up one. There we go. That works. Okay, so let's right click on all these dudes and set them to be just on the top half of, or the bottom half of the keyboard. And then we need something for the right. And he's got all these cool vocal sounds and pads. So let's choose a pad. And let's say you're gonna start here. Now, I'm in the wrong key. Because that's F and this needs to be F. So, let's, I didn't want to get too deep into something that's, let's see, let's go like this. Where's the bass? So I went up 7. So if I take everybody up 7, let's see if this works. And if it, I don't need to fix any of these guys because these are all just drums. Right? There. Oh, it needs to be down 2. We almost got it. In other words, that bass patch was right. Now, there we go. Okay, so let's add one vocal sound on top of this and call it a day because I have someone waiting to jump into the live stream, so I don't want to take too much time on this because this is really exciting. Let's go over here and we'll say load this. That's cool. And let's right click on the bottom note and play C so that we have. Now, I want to set the transport so it only listens from B2 down so that way I can be playing up here. And then the bass will start when I play a note. It starts. I kind of want to augment the bass a little bit, and I need the kick to be a little more. Let's see, let's go like this. Let's get a little enforcer, compressor action going here. And let's go like this. Just so you know, the enforcer, when you call it up, it's not doing anything, the compressor, until you first bring up some sort of ratio and bring down the threshold. Then it kicks in. And let's go over here to the standard library, BPM basses. I got all sorts of basses here, so let's go. Sticky 8th note pulse. And how am I doing the pulse? It's MIDI box. So I'm gonna have fun and open a MIDI box really quick. And now this is doing a motif. Hey, Erez, this is kind of sound like an infected mushroom start.
I'll take it.
I know, right?
I'll take it.
I'll take it. All right, so the bass is playing up high. It's not supposed to, so we'll limit it. So. All right, that's kind of cool. What should we call this? Oh my gosh, look at all you guys here. Cool. What should we call this? Let's come up with a cool name. And since Erez is here with infected mushroom, we have to have something kind of infected and mushroomy. So
arpeggio mushrooms.
Arpeggio mushrooms. How about dancing mushrooms?
Let's go for it.
Okay. BPMs, and it's a Z patch, so it's a bonus patch. Z BPM. Erez gets to name it today.
Woo!
Dancing mushrooms. I'm sure Bob's gonna love it. He's gonna be like, "What are you doing making a patch of mushrooms?" Let's see. This is a BPM split. Save as and save. And so at the end of the live stream, I'll put this up. I'm gonna move over to our next thing. I'll get you this bonus patch before the end of the live stream, I promise. That's cool. The only thing I might do is that this one bass. Let's do this. I've been getting, and I did this a lot. Erez and his team let me work on FilterVerse, and I did a lot of stuff where I would do a long, like 8 measure LFO, because the cool thing with FilterVerse, we're going to get into FilterVerse in a minute because we have a really cool treat for those of you that have FilterVerse. But once you've chosen an LFO shape, you can edit the shape and change it. And so I would go in and I would zero everything out and then have it like just pop up every now and then doing something to something. And it was really fun to play with it that way. It's not the way it's designed to be played with, but you can do that. So if we go over here to the dynamics and we say Pump House, our favorite little, someday when it goes up, it'll be Filter Gate or Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper. That's what it is. That thing's badass. Let's keep 4 measures and we zero it out. So we don't hear anything from this bass, right? But we wanted to start with it. So we're going to have it go up to start and have it play for a little bit. And then we're going to have it get soft. And then drop out. It's supposed to be dropping out, but it's not. What did I do wrong? Here, see here. So we go like, let's say, there we go. it is. It's the original bass part that I'm hearing. So this is just going to accent the first half. Okay, I like that. Nice update. Okay, so I'll get this to you after this next segment because I'm really excited. I worked until 4 in the morning last night on this to get it done. We have Erez. Well, let me bring Erez on. We'll talk about, this is Erez Eisen, right? Is that how I say your name?
Yeah, Eisen, yeah. Kind of
Eisen.
German last name.
A good lesson, yeah.
Yeah.
So Erez is part of the team that started PolyVerse, which has some of the coolest audio effects on the planet.
Thank you.
Love them all so much. And the latest one was FilterVerse, and they actually hired me to make some of the patches in the voicing, which is really fun. And then a little video popped up a couple weeks ago, and Erez was playing FilterVerse through UNIFY and making these badass sounds. I was like, dude.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First of all, I use UNIFY all the time. It exists in every project now. It's just a great workflow. I like to work fast.
Yes.
And a lot of times I'm designing a quick sound for a specific project and I just lose it, and especially if I save it in Cubase and whatever. And in UNIFY, no matter which sequencer I am, because I'm doing live shows with Ableton and I produce with Cubase. So for me, I can take my presets that I've done everywhere, to the road.
Right.
And same thing in the studio also, but mainly in the studio, I like to, I need a quick power bass. I write power bass, boom, search. I have like 4 or 5 presets that I liked,
Right.
And so on. And it's just really summarized in a really efficient way. I love UNIFY so much. It's a huge time saver for me, no joke. I'm so happy that it exists.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear this because we put a lot of love and thought into trying to make a flow that was quick and gives you feedback and exactly like you're using it. It doesn't matter what plugin format or what sequencer format you're in. You can use it. It's
and people don't realize how clever it is. Like the little things that you have, like to do the polyphony from something monophonic with like maybe 2 clicks,
Yeah.
And
3.
when you do right click, on the top right, it tells you add 7 more layers or 3 more layers.
Right.
Which is genius because you already have the first layer, so it's like 3 more.
Right.
For you, it makes sense, but to implement that, I know from the software side of things, you guys did crazy work there. So it's
all the
really
credit for
it.
Shane worked with me. I made the Photoshop image of what I wanted. His engine originally was inside of iOS iPad plugins.
Really?
Guru Sampler is in about 400,000 iPad users' hands as the heart for their engine that plays the samples for Digital D1. And that whole company, they use an early version of Guru Sampler. And then I wanted some more features and capabilities, the random sample start that you could put so you could get the sample attack if you want to be a little bit varied and things like that were added.
Yeah.
But all the coding is Shane. And it's
and of course a lot of respect to Shane.
Yes.
But I also want to give you a lot of credit because to tell Shane every little detail that needs to, hey, I wish this was there or I missed this and that.
Yeah.
Of course, Shane hates you the moment you say that, but
well, a lot of times
after when he implements it, it really makes sense, for people who actually play.
The fascinating thing, a lot of times he would bring me an idea that he had started. One of us would have the idea, and then he would go off and work on something, and it was like incredible synergy, where like, well, I think maybe we did this, you maybe weren't thinking about that, and so everything that we thought up, or I thought up, or he thought up, when it finally became a living little plugin or whatever it is in UNIFY, it is so much more than I ever dreamed it could be, or he dreamed it, because we were open to letting it grow and kind of, we had 4 years to like.
It reminds me of FilterVerse a little bit. In the beginning, it was just an effect machine. And look, now you can use it as a synthesizer too, if you like.
Yes. Yes.
So this wasn't really planned. This was like a last-minute feature that I'm like, hey, Asaf, what if you
Right.
do,
Well, here,
volume to
let's
the
talk here.
oscillator
Let's
out.
share everybody your history real quick because um, you've been. I went to the UK in like the 90s, and it wasn't a great experience. We stayed at an Airbnb with the worst bed I've ever slept on. We actually slept on the box springs because it was better than the mattress. Um,
Wow.
but
Now that's a real experience.
I bought CDs of Infected Mushroom in the 90s, right? Because
Really?
you were doing all sorts of cool stuff back then.
And we
Just
were using your loops too.
oh, that's right. You said Big Bad Beats was in the
Yeah. We have a Converting Vegetarians album, which is kind of chill out. So we use your samples over there.
oh, sweet.
God, they
Sweet, sweet,
sound
sweet.
awesome. Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a little while, and you said you're touring now?
Yeah, we basically didn't stop except COVID, we didn't stop touring.
Wow.
We're doing about 120-ish shows a year.
Wow.
DJ sets, live shows, and mix of different stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, to do live shows. And now we're doing sometimes live shows with orchestras of like 40 players on stage, and it's a
Wow.
lot of fun, to write the notation and stuff and be part of, musical experience.
Right. My, are you okay? When my dog comes into my studio, I'm supposed to let her out, but this is here. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna get her outside really
Yeah,
quick.
take your time. Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
I have
Say
two
hi to
dogs
everybody
right
for a
now,
second.
so
I'll be right back. Come here.
hello, everyone. How are you doing? So I'm gonna keep bragging about UNIFY until he's having a good time about it with his dog. That it's literally a really, really good product, and I honestly use it not just because I'm on this live stream. If you open any project of Infected, you will see UNIFY over there. So
I love that. Thank you. Hey, so let's. So how did PolyVerse happen from Infected Mushroom?
So okay, I had in Infected Mushroom an addiction for Reactor. My partner thought I should go to rehab for a Reactor, but we didn't find a place that specializes
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
So anyways, I kept being an addict for Reactor, and I was building these really horrible patches that made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a very horrible version of the plugin I Wish, which basically loops a small segment, and but it loops it in the wavelength of the pitch that you want to play. So if you're doing A, so A have a certain
Right.
size, length,
Right.
and so on. So
Single cycle loops.
just yeah, so just for an example, I'm such a bad programmer or such a bad like designing these things, like CPU is not my priority when I do that. So I used to do, for example, I literally calculated every note one by one on the keyboard. It took me like, I don't know, a whole day or 2 days. And while I went to a Asaf house, and he's like, you moron, look, da 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 da, boom, divide by 1,000, whatever it was,
Right.
boom, it works. I'm like, fuck, shit.
So you made like a lookup table for every note?
Yeah. Because I didn't know any better. I like to get things done, and
Yeah.
if I don't have the solution right now, I rather use the long way because I'm gonna get there,
Right. Right.
Anyway, so then I realized, okay, I need a genius like Asaf to make my dreams come true.
Right.
And then Asaf told me, okay, I have my genius, Aviram. So each have his own little geniuses, and
Yes.
we one time Asaf asked me to come and teach in Rimon. It's like the most prestigious music school in Israel, like Berkeley kind of style. I think it's
Right.
actually a school from Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
And so they asked me to teach over there, and they wanted to pay me, a fee for teaching. And I told him that I don't want any money. I want him to do the plugin for me that I wish extent. I already made a deal with him. And he said, okay, no problem. It's going to take me like 20 minutes to do it. I'm like, okay, done deal. So I went and I was teaching in this school. It's online. It's very funny. It was a good time. And then I went to his house, I think day after, and he literally programmed the I Wish without the graphics in 20 minutes. It was incredible. And
Wow.
of course, day after he refined it and stuff, but still, So I said, you know what, let's start something serious. Asaf moved to the US. He moved close to where I used to live. Now I moved, and we were working like crazy. Like every day, I literally can walk to his house, and we're just sitting and listening to filters and finding ways, like what makes this special.
Right.
Why when I turn the gain input of a Moog and I feed it very loud volume, it distorts in a very sweet way.
Right.
And I want to see how we can do that, you know?
Yes.
And little things like that. So for me, you know, it's like adult playground, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to work, but I'm actually learning and having the best time of my life. So
right. Yeah. When your play is your work, it's the best.
And Asaf, by the way, he used to program, I don't know if you remember the sound card that used to have a DSP on it, Scope Fusion Platform.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know this one, the German company?
Yeah. Yeah. John Bowen also made synths for that, right?
Yeah, so Asaf made the modular over there, the other, what is called, the other modular, I think.
Right.
And that's what I used for all Infected Mushroom career. Like I had really good sounding tools that are very fun to use at the time.
And your own custom ensemble
Reactor.
models.
Everyone could have used that at the time if you own a Scope platform. But yeah, I just happened to know him, so
right.
And so I learned so much from this guy. Asaf is just the master of synthesis. Like he's literally, for me, like I don't know if it's a good word to say right now, but you know what I mean, the Teslas of our generations, you know?
Yes. More people know, because the sounds, when I show people what the FilterVerse synth sounds like, the distortion, even up high, it's just so smooth and pleasing, even though it's nasty.
Yeah, we have some nasty ones. We have some tricks behind the scene of some of them.
Yes.
Like one of them have wave folding behind the scene, and other have like mini compression tricks behind the scene.
Right. So you have to do that. That's part of even the analog polish. Circuits would kind of like self-compress themselves sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly. So it depends.
You can't do that without it.
If you choose, for example, the evil filter.
Yes.
So in evil filter, you have so many categories of distortions.
Yes.
Just in one knob. So it's and
sick.
each filter behaves differently in each distortion type. Wow. So the rabbit hole is just so deep with FilterVerse, and we're still adding features, by the way.
Yeah. So let me show people, because I just want to play this. So I'm going to move you down my screen. Let's shrink Erez to over here. You're still on screen, and we now have a library. There's a link in the video description. You need to own FilterVerse, which, let's do this to start with. If I just init, my computer's got to wake up real quick and go over here and just say Guru Sampler. Let's call it FilterVerse for just a second so I can show you what this... We showed this when it came out, and I showed it when it was released in 1.0. I've had a handful of times. So it is if you click here, look at all these different types of filters. They have gone deeply into like multi-effects, and each of these 3 slots can be any of these different effects. So if we go to like Evil, that was the one that Erez was talking about. This is a filter. Bring up the resonance.
And the drive.
Right. And then you bring up drive. And as you hear that, just it's so musical. And this is one of possible, look at all these different, what they call poles. And then the real fun thing here is that down below is like your rack. And right here you have all of these different tools, including oscillator, sequencer, which is where you have all these different types of LFOs. They call it a sequencer because once you've chosen what you want and you click, once this happens, you can now click here and you'll see that you have right? And you can control the depth of it here. You can, on let's see, on the control right here, I could have it just be. Now you can play these different polarities. But what's fun is when you hover over sequencer, you can screw it up, man. And the rate can get insanely sick. And if I added another sequencer and I also have this, now you'll see there's two modulation sources here. And remember, we're doing this to just a poor little sawtooth waveform. And then if you get to the presets, there's so many presets now. There's amp, sim. If you get to some of the rhythmic ones, whatever you feed it is going to go through 3 different effects. Let's see if we turn off this display here, you can see. There's so much to play with. And then Erez was playing around, and now was the oscillator what you had added at the end that made it possible?
No, we always had the oscillator in, but it didn't have audio outputs. And we just said, what if? Let's try this. Let's feed it back to the input, you know?
Right. And you did it.
Another rabbit hole of holy shit. Now we need to.
This is a holy shit rabbit holes. So this, let's see, let's go.
And also now you open one sine wave, for example.
Yes.
And then you open another sine wave, and you can modulate the phase with one on the other. So you have phase modulation, and you have FM, frequency modulation, and you have, if you want, pitch modulation, and whatever. That's the fun thing about the oscillator section in FilterVerse, that it's really fully tuned to the keyboard, but matching the specs of the filters themselves, because the filters are tuned accurately also in the right notes. So when you FM them and do very fast movements to them, they're still musical because they are all aligned in the same, how can I say, world of phase issues, let's call it.
Right. So using FilterVerse, because UNIFY sends MIDI, and you have a little M button you can turn off if you want to bypass MIDI. But this is used, and he has combo box in this slot because combo box is empty. And so, you know, the sine wave synth makes a sine wave. He doesn't want anything feeding into FilterVerse. So this patch it responds to pitch bend, mod wheel, and then I went through and set up filter 1, 2, and 3's cutoffs. So you can tweak these sounds to just insane. So this is coming from an audio effect. There's 35 patches in this library. I'm going to show you one called Infected Chords. This is using Polybox and 4 of the same effect that are set to different MIDI channels so that you can and you'll notice that there's a FilterVerse at the output. If we turn that off, so that's the oscillators by themselves. And then in the master effects, he added one more FilterVerse to get the ambience and vibe and all that stuff.
Of course, the mod wheel, and I like also that the pitch bend is -12 down and +2 up.
Oh yeah. And then I hooked up all the filter cutoffs. So you can get into all this just crazy territory. Just like in seconds. Just like, it's very, very fun. He made a patch.
I wanna brag for a second about the team, the programmers.
Yes.
You know, a lot of software companies, and I don't want to diss anyone, so I won't, but I'm
Right.
just gonna say it, that a lot of people are using, you know, pre-made stuff that exists in whatever
Yes.
software you're using to program. There's a lot of built-in stuff that are just ready to go. You change the interface and you can go. And a
Right.
lot of people are doing that. Nothing is wrong with it. It sounds amazing and it's great. Our team at PolyVerse have a little OCD and maybe ego.
Yes.
And they program everything from scratch. If we need to do it from assembly, we do it from assembly, which is the building blocks. And if we needed to do it in C++, it's in C++. But every algorithm in FilterVerse is unique. You will not find it anywhere. You can try to phase cancel anything. You find a delta with any other plugin, and you will see our filters are just unique.
Yes.
It's maybe your flavor or not. It's not a question, but
Right.
you will not find these algorithms anywhere else.
Yes.
Yet.
And if it does, it will just probably be under the FilterVerse name. It's your own toolkit.
I hope so, because some people took the wider technology. We have the plugin wider, and 2 companies already that I won't name. No credit, no nothing whatsoever. And we invented this as far as I know. Nobody did it before us, unless I'm wrong. But
Right.
anyway, the cool thing about wider that it's mono-compatible.
Yes.
And it's when it's wide, it's super wide. It makes no
It's
sense
crazy
that it's still
wide.
compatible.
Yeah. It's like behind you. Scares you
Yeah.
sometimes.
I use it also for guitars on live show. I use wider and then I distort them.
Yes. Gives you a lot more spread before the
Yeah.
distortion, right?
Yeah, before. But the
Right.
distortion, of course, must be stereo,
Right.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Awesome.
NAMM emulations, if you're aware of them. They're great.
Yes. Very, very cool. So you made a patch called Sign FM. And I made it into an 8-voice version so you can. But this reverb you're hearing is just so beautiful. But now it's polyphonics. And the mod wheel. It's cool.
I really think the combination of UNIFY and FilterVerse is such a unique combination right now.
Yeah.
Because it's very fast modular system, especially with the automatic MIDI that you don't need to route anything. You just throw anything in there and the MIDI just works.
Yes.
And like it should in every DAW. I don't understand why nobody's doing it. I'm like,
I know.
I want to throw an audio, and if I play MIDI, just let it go, let it through.
Yeah.
It's like, why to stop it?
Yeah. Well, it's confusing because I think they're just trying to make it like the insert effects are like in a rack or something, but they're on the chain with an instrument, so they should be listening. But I
would like to see a channel that does everything, especially in Cubase, a channel that they just, whatever I record, if I record MIDI, it knows it's MIDI.
Right.
I don't need to see a different icon on the audio channel to know it's whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I like
on the same channel, I can have also a vocoder stuff of audio, so that I can see the MIDI overlaying the audio.
Yeah.
That's something I really miss. Anyway,
Emal,
let's keep going, more presets.
Yes. I'm just saying, Emal was taken, says, now I'm very happy I bought FilterVerse months ago. Oh, and Shane's in the house. Hey, Shane.
Woo! Hey, Shane. How are you doing?
All right, some more presets. I did an experiment at the last minute at 4 a.m, and it turned out kind of cool. I was trying to feed, while keeping it a synth for the FilterVerse part, I was at the same time trying to feed it a synthesizer itself. So this is OBXD. Let's bypass the FilterVerses. So it's got blue ARP triggering it. Then the first FilterVerse does that, and then the second FilterVerse does all this cool residual stuff. And you can control you can bring up the wet dry mix of that. And then with these controls, you are basically God, because you can
No exaggeration whatsoever.
you're God.
Basically God, yeah.
If God was a synthesizer, this is it right here. And then you turn on the groove. So there's so many places, fat leads. You do like also, there's so many places. This kick and sub is sick. And that's one FilterVerse. Pac-Man on weed. Which if you bring down the mod wheel, and it is tempo sync. So if you go to the UNIFY standard and you go UNIFY layer and you go down to some BPM drums or some, like, let's go BPM splits and get one of Airwave's cool, crazy things in here to play. So if we go like, BPM split right here, Haley Bop. It's like Dead Mouse on acid, you know? Anyway, there is a ton of fun stuff, and it's a free library. These really cool trumpet 3 sax FilterVerse. This is a 3-voice. It's using 3 FilterVerses to get this. There's a version 2. Because you were saying you were doing some live shows with orchestra.
Yeah.
So is this kind of like something you would use in that context?
So I would love, like, how can I say? I've done it before I had FilterVerse, and now the upcoming orchestra show, I will be using, for example, this preset in one of the songs. It's the lead sound of the upcoming songs.
Oh, cool.
It's not out yet. And it's really cut through the mix really nicely, you know, and with the real orchestra in the background.
Oh, it'd be sweet.
You can tell that something is not real on top, but in the same time, you're kind of not sure. It's like, is it or is it not?
Right.
Because of the rest that makes it more convincing.
Because it has those qualities, but I love the hybrid, especially with real, not sampled orchestras, but with real. I'd just be like, I'm getting
this is just synthesized stuff, so it's cool, like to get something close to.
You get goose pimples just thinking about that. So
there's some bass presets there. I remember, like dubstep one. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, you did a couple. You let's see. Well, there's. Infected.
Yeah, that's our signature lead.
And again, it just sounds so good. Oi verbed. Very, very fun. So all of these. This is quacky mid lead. It's fun with math.
It is.
I did do another patch. I did Take a Bow.
Nice.
but you hear all that schmutz.
Yeah. The damage knob in the filter.
And it just sits so lovely. This is one where I made the patch, and then I octave it, so there's two of them. Get that kind of like old
Yeah, I know
monkey.
exactly. Daft Punky.
It's just nuts. And then if you go over here and you duplicate this, and let's make this be -7 or +7. You can play with these. And now if you do add additional layers like I just did, make sure you go to the macro knobs and use this duplicate links to all layers. That will make it so that all the controls. So you can play with it. Very, very, very fun. Wow. Well, like I said earlier, I can't wait to hear what this sounds like when it gets implemented into a synth at some point, because
Yes, we are working on a crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, our dream kind of synth. I don't know if it will be everybody's dream, but it's at least going to be close
Well-
to mine and Asaf's dream.
yes.
And it sounds really, really like as good as a computer can produce a sound. I think this.
Yes.
So far, this where Asaf reached. It's ridiculously, especially with you cannot hear aliasing in the upcoming stuff. And
Great. Great.
yeah,
Well, you are an inspiration. You guys are an inspiration. A modal and stuff like that I've used so much because you just need those weird things that just a normal filter can't give you. And that you guys are the place to go for that kind of stuff. So
if you're a sound designer, you need this kind of specialty tools,
yeah.
And I always looking for this unheard before filters or reverbs or whatever
Yes.
it is.
Right.
Even I'm looking into AI stuff, and I'm trying to find great inspiration there. And but it's cool to explore new things, and FilterVerse is just one of them.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
filters that you don't have yet if you don't own it.
Right.
Simple as that.
It's very
And
true.
it's more tools to have, more fun tools to have, from reverbs to crazy delays, speed shifters. Like it's really for me, I'm not saying as PolyVerse, I'm talking about myself. I own the H8000, the H9000 from Eventide, and I love Eventide.
Yes.
And for me, it's basically a multi-effect machine that's
Right.
specializing in filters, but also have the building blocks that you need, like delays, reverbs, and chorus stuff, whatever.
Yes.
But anyway, so it's a full multi-effect machine. It's not any synth now.
Right.
So-
No, it's
so-
like you've made your own H8000 basically.
Yeah, so we didn't try to make that, but we just tried to make the best thing ever for us. And it happened. It's starting to grow on me that my Eventide, even right now, is off. And I love Eventide, and I love it. I use it all the years, and I'm a huge fan of Eventide. I don't want to say anything negative. They're still
Right.
amazing.
Right.
But now I use it less. That's what I'm saying.
Right. You have your own flavor of that
Yeah.
is unique and does what you like from the Eventide, but it's your own baby. And that's
But
a great
that's
place.
my personal own, not a PolyVerse comment, please. This is just my own
Of
personal,
course.
because I'm making music way before PolyVerse. So
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I think the best plugins are plugins people make almost like for themselves instead of by committee trying to get opinions by it's like you have a vision, and if you have a couple people that you share it with and let it build as like some special little thing
yeah.
that
And you just need to go with your craziness all the way. You just go
Totally.
with this wild idea. And your wife is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working on wave folding." What? What
Right?
the fuck is wave folding? I'm like,
yeah.
okay, well, when you take a sine wave, and just joking.
Right.
Anyway.
Here, let me get a piece of paper. Sit down, honey.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like, if you want to know, I'll show you.
Yes.
But anyway, so it's kind of being a half scientist, I can say. It's
Yeah.
it feels like that, at least for me.
Yeah, when I first joined Korg, and it was a similar thing of you think software works in a certain way, and then you sit with the engineers, and they have a list of parameters, and they go, okay, this takes 6 months, this takes 3 months,
Yeah.
And you start to realize that it's not just, and it's done. It's like, well, I have to pull this out of my ass somehow, right? So you have to make it. And
Well, FilterVerse is literally took 6 years from the beginning to the end. We didn't work just on that 24/7, of course.
Sure.
We had other things on the way, but it started 6 years ago, and
wow,
we really didn't want to release it before it's where it's at now.
right.
And I'm very, very, very proud of it. I wasn't that excited about a product in a long time, and I
No.
honestly, I'm very excited and proud to be part of this.
Yeah. Well, I am excited and proud to get to share it with everybody, and that you made the patches and just said, sure, share them with everybody. That's very
Yeah.
generous on your part.
Yeah, you have all the infected sounds over there that I love, and I'm gonna keep making more sounds using UNIFY, regardless if you're
Wow.
gonna share it or not. I'm just keep doing it.
If you share them with me, we will let the library just keep growing.
Yeah, and I would love to see the community just more share stuff and less keep things for themselves. You know, a lot of people
Yes.
thinking they can keep themselves a secret weapon or whatever. I mean, just share it with everyone. And
Yeah, you have to. That's the only way that things continue to grow and advance, is build on what others have done, you know, without stealing it.
Yeah, and it's always you have the dilemma, but why do you charge money for something? It's like, okay,
Right.
let's open a can of worms of.
I know. Well, if we lived where houses were free and there's just food just on the sidewalk, you could just not have to think about money. But
Yeah,
that's not how it works. We know that's
how
not
it works. Yeah.
Yeah. But we try to
really,
make it fair.
But people, for example, a lot of people think FilterVerse is pretty pricey, like $149 right now, and I totally get that. But it depends what you compare it to, like in my opinion.
Right. And
like for me, I have 4 kids, and anytime I go to a restaurant, sadly, it costs more than FilterVerse with my family.
Right.
You know, so my own convincing is like, can I afford buying for PolyVerse team 1 meal for the family?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is really.
Wow.
So
4 kids.
Anyway, so yeah, it's not the cheapest product on the market, we are aware.
Right.
But we really
it's unique.
You get a lot
and
for
there's
your
a
money.
huge amount of work to get it to where it is.
And we didn't copy paste pre-existing algorithms.
You're not using MDAs, filters, and
yeah.
That's the one thing I wanted to emphasize. If you go into UNIFY, we've got all these auxiliary free effects, and all the ones that say MDA have been literally around since the 90s. And so many of today's products by many companies are taking these plugins, maybe tweaking a few things, putting a different skin on it, and calling it something new and selling it for $29.
Yeah.
And that's low-hanging fruit. And it's great to hear you say that's not where you guys come from, and that's not, you don't have any desire to recreate what somebody else has already created. This is their own signature thing. And that's the case with the Gatekeeper. All the I Wish, the vocal stuff that they can do. Their vocal synth is just absolutely insane.
Manipulator is a lot of fun, yeah. And especially that it's almost zero latency.
Yes. Which is rare.
Which is the lowest on the market.
Yes.
Especially at the time that it came out, nobody even came close. Our competition was 33 millisecond, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Millisecond.
Yeah.
And we are talking about samples here, not even 1 millisecond, you know?
Mad scientist. I love it. Well, thank you for joining us.
I had a good time, and I love your show. I watch it. When I'm traveling, I'm downloading it to YouTube to my phone, and then I watch it on the flight.
Oh my God. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's an honor to get to talk to you. So we'll do this more. If there's anything you want to share in the future, you're welcome here anytime. I mean,
thank you so much, and I just would love the people on your channel to share their work. If they did any cool sounds with it, even just kick and bass line or whatever they've done, if they can share anywhere, it's just going to be cool, you know, to see what you guys do with our crazy tools.
Yes, yes. So maybe we'll have a community thing build up from this as well. So, and like if you do make more patches and want to share them, I will let the library just keep growing and growing.
And you can check also PolyVerse Discord, and of course, I don't know if you have a Discord too.
Yes.
Anyway,
nobody's on it, but I do.
Have all of us sound designers hang sometimes there. So
right.
And you have really smart people that can really give you good ideas or answer your questions.
Good to know. Good to know. So
Anyway,
please look
have
them
a
up.
great day.
Yes, you too, Erez. Thank you so much.
And
All right. Cheers, everybody.
bye-bye. Yes.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
So again, if you want some really cool like he said, he's made this the signature infected. There's not. Just taking something like this, duplicate it, and then take it down an octave, and let's duplicate it again. Let's make this even big monster. 24 octaves. So, serious tools, serious sonic mayhem can be found there. So, that was really fun. I have never met Erez before, so it was really we're definitely speaking the same language, because this is all just love and passion for sound. What's your who's this guy? That was Erez. He is co-founders of PolyVerse, who has made FilterVerse, which is a wonderful multi-effect. It starts with filters, but then they've added so many tools and things that can create just unbelievable sounds. Let me see, does this resize? I probably have to go into settings or something to resize it. So if I go here, scale, I can say 150. So now it's bigger. But it's just seriously sick tools, the things that they can do with these effects, and the modulation is just so wonderful. The oscillators, when you get into all the settings here, you've got the phase, the shape, all sorts of things. This factor is unique in that it does, well, let's see. I'm not going to get deep into showing it off right now because I got a lot of other things to show you guys, but really good. So if you don't have FilterVerse, here's your opportunity. I sent a newsletter out last night with links. If you want, let's do this. Let's go over here to here and say new. PolyVerse Music is their website, and they have, it's like custom catered tools that are built from scratch. They make them themselves. They're not borrowing modules and things from other plugins. And Gatekeeper is a more powerful version of like LFO tool. What I love with Gatekeeper that's really unique is you can actually go above the level that the sound is on points. You can have it emphasized for accents. So you can do some really cool things with rhythmic things. I wish, as he said, was his first thing that they made, which can freeze sounds and do incredible things. Comet is their huge reverb. Manipulator is for vocal dramatically and just so much stuff you can do. Supermodal is kind of like a fun version of FilterVerse where it's even weirder, more pitch and harmonic oriented filtering and stuff. But FilterVerse is their kind of like, as he said, 6 years in the building. They were in beta for a long time. You could buy it in beta, and I pointed out to you guys quite a few times. Now it's out as 1.0, and it has 25 different filter types. They're adding new things to it, he said, as they go. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 25 that you see here, I see a lot of room over here that are empty slots for other things that they can add. So I don't think they're done. They have vowels. I mean, all the cool things I think they've done and developed, they have turned them into effect modules. And each one of these is like a full-on plugin. If you go to Ripples, it's this is like this many plugins built into one plugin. So it is a serious tool for creating all sorts of really cool, crazy things. You can feed, like I showed you, a simple sawtooth, and wow, it's very, very cool. My new buddy Eisen, yes. Well, I've we've talked a little bit through communication on email, but never in person. So that was really fun. There's a lot to tell you guys about this Valentine's Day weekend. Valentine's Day was yesterday. For one thing, I should point out, if we go over here to the pluginguru.com website, I haven't even promoted anything yet, but I don't have, there's no big banner on the front, but if you go to the products, everything is 40% off for Valentine's Day for this weekend and for Monday, since President's Day as well. So 40% off savings. The new library from Bob is also at 40% off until I think it's February 23rd or something like that. I don't even have the date here when it ends, but it's 40% off for all of the really cool, chill, lo-fi, down, really, really cool sounds. Let me do this. I'm gonna call up my newsletter because I pointed out there's all sorts of crazy sales going on, and there's some of you will want to know about. Some of you might not like it because some of them require like iLok and things like that. And I know some of you guys are not big fans, but let's go over here. To start with, SSL, who makes some pretty serious SSL. They have a plugin called XComp, which is a mastering grade compressor. It can do some really, really cool things. It's $200. You can get it today for $8. It requires iLok. So if you don't have iLok, you can't do it. But if you add this to your cart, last time I did this, they had a big timeout thing because there was so many people buying this. But if we can do this, let's see if we say add to cart, and I've clicked it and I'm waiting. Hello. There's so many people because it's $8. So there's a lot of people. Let me show you this. There's a promo code you use at checkout, compression. Here we go. It's added. So if we go proceed to checkout, and if you have a promo code, if you type in, I did all large caps, COMPRESSION, and you say add, $192 is dropped from the plugin, and it's now $7.99. So if you want a truly incredible works, let me do this. Let's go to like these grooves in Moonflower Tape. Let's go over here and let's choose up. Let's do it as a mastering bus compressor just for a second to see what it sounds like. So let's call up like one of these cool grooves where okay. On the output, let's go XComp, and there it is, because I bought it, because I'm not a fool, and I have way too many plugins on iLok. I'm not afraid of iLok. It's a very good form of data protection. You can tell from the presets. It can do some really nice things. If you use it on drums, let's go over here. Actually, let's just go to one of the drum grooves here. So let's go. Let's build a drum groove because these has all these really cool elements. So if we go BPM, drum, here's kicks. So we just say kick. And let's go instrument one only, and let's add a snare and hats and miscellaneous. And let's do this. I'm working on a new library. I'm not going to tell you a lot about it, but I'm going to go to Groove Summit. Groove Summit is based on camping, and hiking, and climbing in the mountains. This has 5 camps before you get to the summit. So I'm going to add percussion from camp 5. And let's have a tambourine. Okay. And let's go over here and where else? Let's add something fun from here. Actually, not that one, but That's close enough. I just want to get something going. And let's go over here and say X comp. Here's without. It's doing that really cool. So you can use it on the whole drum bus. It sounds great. You have a crossover frequency here between the two. So it's the real deal compression, and it's $8 if you use promo code compression. It's a flash sale, so it's not going to be around for very long. I think it's going to be ending soon. So take advantage of that if you want. Universal Audio also has a little bit of love. In fact, they have a free plugin for their UA1176. It's free right now. And I believe this goes until February 28th. So you have more time on this one than you do with the SSL. So if you would like to get yourself the UA 1176, which I have, I can say 1176. And this is the revision A, I believe. So we can call that up and you don't have the same controls. But it sounds very nice. It does really nice things. You have presets over here. So it can squash. It's a very different squash than what you're going to get from the SSL. So they're kind of cool to work together if you want to do some crazy things like that. Those are available. What else? Let's see. I had some other things in the latest newsletter. So let's go to the campaigns. See all my campaigns. Here's the newsletter. Let's see if I go view email. And let's see, I got to come over here and say, right here. This is the newsletter we put out last night with Athena in her Valentine's Day outfit, which she totally hated, but made for a cute picture. Moonflower Tapes with the library walkthrough, FilterVerse SYNTH. There's the link to get the free library in our newsletter. And then here's the other stuff that's going on. Waves is giving away TrueVerb for free. So if you look to the Waves website and go to the TrueVerb, you can find it. In a minute, I'm going to show you a new plugin from Minimal Audio that's really, really cool. Also want to point out Tia and Hyperion, our synthesizers from Wave Sequencer from Paul Carter, are available and are on sale, as with everything else at the site, for the next 3 days. So if you go pluginguru.com, you can go to the current deals and free stuff. And here's Moonflower Tapes. And then here's Tia. Tia is the player version of Hyperion. Hyperion is the full-blown modular synthesizer. And it's 40% off right now. Let me show you that real quickly. Hyperion, I need to spend more time with Hyperion. I've been so busy with so many other things that I haven't dived into this as much as I want to, because it's such it is a massively huge undertaking because there is so much it can do. I like that I can resize it here so it can get to fit and fit. Thank you. But similar to what Erez was talking about, Hyperion is a synth that Paul has created pretty much from scratch. He built his own effects. There's tons and tons of patches. It's got a cool searching system, so we can say ambiences. And now next week, I have 3 libraries that he's made that we're going to be releasing. So if you want some new patches and you haven't bought them elsewhere, they're available at at another website, but we're going to sell them here too. So wait till next week and buy them from us. But it's modular. If you right click, you can see all of the modular tools you have to play with. And then here is what it's doing. And it's just super deep waters, super, super deep. And what's fun is the Taya version is this without seeing this. It's simplified. If you just want to call up all of the patches of Hyperion and just play them and not get into tweaking and all that kind of stuff, then you want Taya, because this has the same patches. I know I'm clicking next patch. It's not going to the next patch. So let's go over here. What am I doing wrong? Let's see. So you have limited controls, but they control cool things in the sound. So those are both available at the website, so you can pick those up at pluginguru.com as well. There is a new plugin that I was sent from our friends at Minimal Audio. So let's do this. Let me call up something like Sign. Let's do this. Let's just say Guru Sampler. And let's go to, I think, the DSP Sign. We'll start with this because let's see, if I go minimal, WaveShifter is the name of this, and it's doing some fun things with the phase. Oh, you know what, I fixed these once, and we have to fix them again. The loop points on the sine wave of the DSP one are a little funky. I apologize for that. Let's see over here. Where's our presets? So you can hear what it's doing, just a sine wave. And it has a number of additional effects over here to play with. Where are they at? So you can. So it's getting into some really interesting. I think my mix is. Here we go. 100%. So yeah, you can go into crazy territory. And if you put this on more complex things, let's say, let's go to a pad inside of Moonflower. Oh, I need to go just to normal load. So if we go over here to the outputs, let's see. So you can hear it's doing an interesting. Here's your styles, and you have frequency shift, ring mod, and then you have amp mod. And then once you go into the spread, this starts to play with left and right. The frequencies you want to modulate. And so you get into the cool lasers and sweet. So there's a ton of presets in all sorts of categories. Like just take a small percentages, just shrink the mix down a little bit. Some really interesting stuff to happen. Their website, let me show you where to find this. Let's see, new minimal. I can spell, I know it. It's minimal audio, minimal.audio is their website. And I think they have some sales going on. As you can see, if you go to plugins, the new one is WaveShifter and it's $29. So it's not a... So it does some interesting things harmonically. So if you need something to just like do subtle things or bring up the mix if you want to be more dramatic. Right? Really nice, really cool effect. So I thought you guys should know about that. Just because I show you plugins doesn't mean I'm not like saying you have to own it. It's not that kind of an endorsement. I just want you guys to know what's out there, right? Let's see. What else was there on the list I wanted to talk about today? Because it's been... I'm glad I figured out my audio. This new monitor, 49-inch monitor. If you guys are in the camp to upgrade your productivity, a huge monitor like this is a dream come true for me. It's so nice to have so much space. You're looking literally at just the middle of this monitor. If I was to change the Mac feed, let's see, there's the full feed, but it's going to scrunch it to, I can't change it, but let me see if I go like this. Check this out. This is the full feed that this monitor is. See where I'm moving around? What you're seeing is just this part of the monitor. I've got YouTube and I've got OBS sitting here so I can see comments and feedback and all that kind of stuff. All going on at once. And then I have Zoom from here when I was having the Zoom chat with Erez. So it's so much space. It's crazy. Plus I have another monitor up on top. I have a 27-inch monitor on top. So life is good. I think we might, let's see, let me go back to here. View the email really quick. Was there anything else I wanted to cover today? Let me see what the agenda is. What are you guys asking any questions? I haven't even really checked. Great to see you, Paul. Oh, Wave Sequencer is here there too. Nice. Cool. We got both guys in the house, both of our brain friends. Yeah. So, let's see. Cool. Bought the Moonflower Tapes a week ago. It's nice that it's being addressed. Yes, we love Moonflower Tapes. It's a great library. Came out really, really cool. Let me see here. In our list of things, what else did I want to cover? We had Erez on, which was great. I showed you the free plugins. I think that's just about all we had to cover. Do you guys have any questions on anything you want to see? Yeah, you gotta have room for this monitor. That's one thing I was like wondering about. And it comes with this great big monitor stand that it goes on. And I opted to get one that attaches to the table that can hold two monitors. For some reason, I don't have the feed going for the other. Let's see, let's get this out of the way that you shouldn't be there. And this out of the way. Let's see if we turn that off, that's that. And this is supposed to be the Osmo Pocket, and it's let me down, man. Let's see, go like that. Okay. Oh, there it is. we got it back. Yay. Okay. So check this out. So if we go like this, check this out. So I have 27-inch monitor up here and then this big 49-inch sucker to work with. And so I can have so much going on. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So yeah, it's been nice to have enough real estate to get all sorts of stuff going and have room for it all to work. So there. Okay, now we got both monitors working. Let's get this speech size just a little bit smaller. Yeah. All right, are there any questions? Because I kind of have what the agenda for the day I wanted to cover was, but if you have any question, this is the Inosin. Here, I'll show you. It was on sale at Amazon. I'm sorry for promoting Amazon, but INNOCN 49-inch OLED. Yeah, it's still on sale. I bought this on January 29th. It's $799 instead of $1,000. And I've got a number of friends that have ordered them and got them and are loving them because here, one more time, I'll show you the feed. So they have, this is the 144 megahertz OLED. Now, to get this to work, for me, I used a USB-C to display port for the 27-inch monitor and then an HDMI. I'm not running this monitor at 144 megahertz right now. It's just HDMI to HDMI, but the newer Mac OS, it does use the full display interface so that it's taking up the full screen, but it's really, really great. Fall back, and that's not bad. How's the new monitor been on your eyes? It's great. It's an OLED, so it's got great blacks. After getting pigments on sale. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, the Unified Pigments Library gives you all of the factory patches. We'll cover that really quickly. For those of you that have plugins and UNIFY, if we go pluginguru.com, if you click the UNIFY link, it will take you to a page where you can scroll down, and I'll add the free, excuse me, the free library for FilterVerse will be also available here in this list. But all of these plugins, Plasmonic, we were mentioning Arturia's pigments. So if you come up here, I got them all. Arturia pigments. I know they have a new version. We got to look at the new version and update, but we haven't done that yet. Cherry Audio's plugins, we're big fans of all of their work. Even Spectrasonics Nylon Sky, we saved out the patches for that extension, and so forth. All of Uhi's plugins, now these are in VST2 format, which means that when you go into your plugin page in UNIFY, go to Operations. I like to use the select plugins to scan and then just choose which plugins I want. But if it's your first time doing so, then you'd go here. You can go scanning all three categories if you want, and then use this remove redundant, and it prioritizes VST2, which is not necessarily the right thing to do anymore because VST3 has come on as being the flavor that Steinberg wants to support, and they're trying to kill VST2 as best way they can. So it's kind of funny with the plugin wars. I would give anything if there was just one plugin format and everybody used it. I think the development that people could do in plugins would be so much better because there's so much work. I know from experience now, trying to get all the different versions of plugins to work. The same plugin, it does something weird in the audio unit version versus the VST3 version versus the VST2. AAX is a nightmare in and of itself. And if it was just one plugin and it was all documented and out there for everybody to use, it would just be such a beautiful world. I'll tell you, it would be so much better than it is. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. I don't know what DaVinci's talking about. The UNIFY 2 that is coming. Is that an update? It will be a paid update. We are adding lots of features. I'm not sure if this is a big ask, but can you review how you played the MIDI track to Purple Rain for the... Oh, how you played... Boy, that's a big ask. I know, plugin Nirvana. If we just had one plugin format, I'll tell you, it would be so much easier. Yeah, UNIFY 2 is going, because there is so much going into UNIFY 2. Very excited about what we're going to do and what we're working on. It will be an obvious upgrade. I'll just say that. Can't say much about it right now, but yeah. Back to the 80s. You're you're going back in time. I would have to look for the MIDI files and all that stuff. Let me see if we go to the, let's see, back to the 80s, and there were these BPM templates for songs, right? And Purple Rain. Yeah, it would take a bit. I'd have to, let's see, if we quit here. Let's go over here. Come here, Logic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say make a new, and I want it to be multi-channel with 8 parts. And then I can go up here and I can say Unify. That way it's already set up in multiple parts. Let me get to OBS to make sure that I'm in the screen with everything here. So that we go like that, like that. You guys can move out of the way. You can also move out of the way. Thank you. Let's see, back to the 80s. The templates, and I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Here's Purple Rain. So by calling this up and by having a multi-channel template inside of channel 1's the drums. You have the piano. And that's it. So if you want, okay, so let's see, let's just have that extended. Yeah, that's what I thought. So go over here to there and say you need to go all the way to right there. So you would just build it up. I mean, oh, we're just doing 2 majors. So let's see. So you're just building it up, right? So you could build up as you want. Again, what's kind of nice is that if you want, you can remove the bass and the, like, not do the original song, but instead do like a, why didn't the drum start? What happened to the drums? What did I do? Oh, you know what I did? I think I did something for the volume. Let's see here. Yeah. There. So you can build your own songs with these, you know? If you add the MIDI file, would it play the background track? You need to add the MIDI file and then make sure that you assign the piano part to part 2. I don't think that we did. I don't think when Bob designed this, I don't think he was like looking at a MIDI file. He was just by ear saying, I hear this, I need this sound, made this sound, made this sound. So you could be able to recreate it, but as you can see the sounds, I mean, if I undo this and go back to where it was, let's see, if I go redo. All right, so 1, 2, there. Listen, I can't sing like Prince, so I'm not even gonna try, but that's the vibe, man, right? I mean, Bob's Back to the 80s libraries is just so good because he truly spent a lot of time making sounds that work together. So whatever category of these that you want to call up. And then there's all these other grooves. Now, another fun thing to do is to take some of these, like these full songs. This is on F#2, so right? If you wanted to write your own music, you didn't want to use these MIDI files, hold down Option and click the little bullet next to MIDI box to get rid of the MIDI files. And then each one of these layers, change it to MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 3, because each one of these is a separate element for 5 and 6. And because in my sequencer, my DAW, I was able to hit plus and turn on multi-timbral, that allows it to make an instrument where it automatically allocates the MIDI channel to each one. So there's a drum kit. On MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2. Orchestra hit. What's on MIDI channel 4? Did I have anything on MIDI channel 4? Oh, keys, and the volume's down. Right? And then if we go over here to channel 5, cool, go. With the delays and everything all set up. So you have everything set up with these sequencer templates. Each one you call up, if you, let's see. Yeah, DaVinci, I'm sorry, I can't handle trying to help you guys. I was thinking of this afternoon. I have to ask John about FilterVerse and UNIFY. Well, good timing there. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how the universe works, but there's funny times where things happen where, Erez sent me these patches. It took a little while to get them saved in a format. If you guys don't have FilterVerse, this is more than enough reason right here. Besides all the other amazing things it can do. If you call up a drum groove, here I'll show you another cool groove from Groove Summit. This is going to be a sick library when it gets done. So let's go to the Summit. These are all the elements together. So let's go over here and let's say FilterVerse. Then you go to the presets. I'm going to call it my own preset. So if you go over here by the sort by name, you go to author, it groups everything together. So Zephs are here. Erez's will show up. They have so many patches, my gosh. And then down here a little bit farther after Erez's all the I mean, the add a bass. So there's so many fun places to go with this plugin. Plus, it can be a full-blown synthesizer, and there's 35 patches here that that's just FilterVerse times 2. It's beautiful, beautiful. I love beautiful sounds. That's what we're here for. Whether they're distorted or all sorts of places. So anyway, I think we'll kind of call it a quits right there. Let me see if there's any other questions popping up here. And it makes, I bet that FilterVerse would sound crazy on a vocal track. It can do crazy things to pretty much anything. So yes, you own. Good. Well, then make sure you get the patches. I recently realized that there's all my projects depend on UNIFY now. If you ever stop supporting this, I'll be doomed. We're not going anywhere. I promise. I promise you, we're not going anywhere. And we just want to make it even better. So UNIFY 2 is taking some of the core ideas and just gonna be going out there. So let's do our shout outs. Yes. Into the live stream shout outs. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad. Onwards and upwards. Right on, Wave Sequencer, my friend. Right on. A shout out from Florida. Hey, Tom. You guys had some cold spells down there, man. Will UNIFY 2 have an upgrade price? It will have an upgrade price. We're not announcing that yet. It has to exist first. But it will be fair. I'm so bad at letting secrets out. It's not my forte, so I got to keep my mouth shut. Brussels, please take my money. Oh, thank you. I only take your money if you're getting something in return. So that's what I love with our business is each of our libraries is truly reinventing whatever synth you buy patches for. That's what I love with libraries. I mean, I can go from showing you this. I go to Purity, and all of a sudden we're in a Zen garden with crystal meditation bowls. I mean, it's the best. And you move the mod wheel, and what's fun with this opening patch is it's actually cycling through 8 different ways of playing these crystal bowls. And what's fun is you can change this just Isn't that cool? Or we can go to another library. Let's go to Electric Dreams, and we go to the Z patches and the Z BPM patches here, and all of a sudden we're now playing Lana. Oh wait, not there. I'm playing. So if we go Electric Dreams, go to the Z patches like trio. Now it's bass, guitars, and I'm in Logic, so I gotta go to my tempo in Logic, slow it down. another library, and we have like over 100 libraries. If you go to Space Dreams from Bob Dede's, from this is just incredible. If you go over here to like these scenes, there's these scenes at Endless Storm. Takes a second to go. Oh, you want me to go over here and load all these sounds? Hello, there you go. I might not have clicked. And now you're in sci-fi ambient. Huh. UNIFY, your spinning wheel. We haven't had a spinning wheel happen in a while like this. This is kind of cool. It's trying really hard to find what it's looking for. Oh, there it is. It came back. Okay. Although it's not quite running like it's supposed to. I'm not sure what is happening here. I think it's frozen. Let me see here. If I go reset. Yeah. Oh, it's in Logic. Oh, we must have done something and messed up Logic. So I can't force quit Logic or I will lose my microphone. So I think we'll stop right there. Seems like a good place to end this. Yeah, so thank you for joining us. Sorry that it locked up at the end, but it's a Logic memory thing of some sort. We'll see you next week for another live stream. Next week, I've got some really interesting plugins to show you. Kind of glimmers of hope with AI that aren't going to bring out negatives, I don't think. There's still room for some, everything has a negative, of course, if you look at it. But there's some interesting things happening that I've been shared information with that I can share with you next week. So stay tuned. We've got some fun stuff on that level coming. Thank you for joining us. It's so good to see all of you guys. A logical end to the proceedings. Yes, thank you, Rob. That's a good way to put it. Hi, Peter in Los Angeles. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate all your comments. We love getting to do stuff that so many people are enjoying working with. It's a dream come true. We love what we do, and we thank all of you for coming along with us on this adventure, because that's what this is. Life's an adventure, and we're trying to make it interesting and fun for everybody. So, all right, we'll see you next week. Blessings to all. May you have a creative week. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. Writing. Have happy spirits, okay? See you next week.